Jess, I think we should start this episode.
Okay, let's do it. No.
Each one of us giving our best British impersonation. Starting with you, ladies first.
What? Starting with me? I do fake British. I do what is probably offensive. It's
I'm not
no
telling
good.
you what to do.
How dare you? God, it's been too many episodes since you just dropped something on me in the beginning. I had it too good.
Yes, you did.
Because you want me to do some kind of pip pip cheerio thing. No. You do it.
Pip pip cheerio.
Oh my God,
there,
I
Gov.
cannot with you.
Can't park there, mate.
Can't park there, mate.
Show about pop culture stuff. We keep watching and connected, but it's never enough. Talking with our friends about our favorite things, TV shows and movies and some random swearing. Hey! 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 This is the pretty little podcast.
Hello, all you pretty little people. This is the Pretty Little Podcast. I'm your host, Dick Jerkins, and with me is Henrietta Conchita Alonso Gomez.
Hola. Okay, yeah. Here I am. What'd you call me? Henrietta something?
Something, yeah.
All right.
So I think in all fairness, I should probably do an American impression.
You are so beady.
Dude, I am in a good mood.
I can tell.
I got a new arm for my microphone.
Yeah,
and it is
great.
so close to my face right now.
It
I don't
is.
have to worry about leaning over.
No.
My back's not going to hurt.
I had no idea you were just going through it, recorded. Guys, he has been suffering for your listening pleasure, okay?
Yeah. Should I do my American impression?
Yes, please do. Have you not been?
Hey, I'm 53 years old. I think math is gay. And now I want a bacon cheeseburger blowjob.
Fantastic.
Look on your face.
I don't know what to do with this. I don't know what the hell
We
happened.
gotta make fun of ourselves sometimes.
Yeah, no, there's nothing wrong with that.
It's
We're
only fair.
just like, what is this episode? Is this because I made French toast for dinner?
I don't know, man. I am
You
definitely
are
on a sugar
beanie.
high right now.
You are super beanie right now. It was good French toast, though.
It was excellent.
Thank you.
What are we talking about today, Henrietta?
My name's not Henrietta. We're talking about Yellow Submarine, which is a 1968 musical film inspired by the music of the Beatles, directed by George Dunning with art direction by Heinz Endelman. And it's interesting because, well, I'm sure we'll get into it. The Beatles don't voice themselves. It's their music, and then they show up in person at the end.
At the very end. And
But-
what was probably like somewhere far, far away from anything having to do with this
They were
movie.
probably doing 8 million
This is
other
like-
things. They stopped and did this for,
This is the easiest
5
money
minutes.
the Beatles ever made. They had
So-
little to no involvement in this at all.
Yeah, well, and they already had the album.
Right.
So,
This was just like, again, this is like any
But-
musician would love to have this opportunity to just have somebody completely outside of them make this fantastic, phenomenal thing that was a mega hit for what, 50 years now, 60?
Well, 1968.
Yeah.
So,
So I don't know. Look, I'm going to be real honest up front. Like, you know me, I'm not like the
I
biggest.
I don't know that I know you.
I'm not the biggest Beatles fan. And it's not that I hate the Beatles. It's not that I can't listen to the Beatles. The Beatles are just not something that I seek out to listen to. I don't have any playlists with Beatles songs on it.
Mhm.
There are a handful of Beatles songs that I absolutely do love,
Mhm.
but it's just like, I don't know. It's not really the style of music that I listen to on a regular basis. And the Beatles kind of are off of my radar most of the time. You also know that when it comes to Beatles movies, I find them very hard to sit through.
Well,
Yellow Submarine is the exception. I absolutely do love this movie. I think this is a great movie in many ways.
Mhm.
And I do think that it's because of the Beatles. I think that, like,
Okay, yes.
well, I mean, because the whole movie itself, it functions just like like an animated segment on Sesame Street, right? It already has that like nostalgia. We were born in the 80s, grew up in the 90s.
Yeah.
And we watched Sesame Street all the time as kids and saw this style of animation. So there is like some kind of nostalgic trigger watching this for me.
Okay.
And I think that type of animation, it just works really well with Beatles songs.
Sure.
And with the Beatles being in it, I mean, it's whatever it is. I mean, the Beatles, they go through this entire movie and it's just like, oh, look over there. That's a bit odd, isn't it? Oh,
They never
look over
say that
there.
once.
More oddness. And they just don't
It's
really.
just quirky.
Yeah, exactly. But there's there's no stakes in this movie, is what I'm saying.
I beg to
At
differ
least for the
on
Beatles.
behalf of the inhabitants of Pepperland.
Well, yeah, but for the Beatles, once the Beatles come into this, they are.
Well, they're the heroes. They come in
Right,
to
but
save the day.
There's very
With the
little that
power
they
of
have to do
music.
to save the day here.
They have to do what they're good at, which is sing songs and be silly.
Sure.
That's literally what they need to do.
But I would say that aside from the Beatles, and especially for somebody like me, this movie, the appeal is absolutely the art style.
Mm.
The art in this it's a lot of things. It's like
There's a lot of different kinds
a ton of
of
different
art,
like
sure.
art
and
influences.
mediums and all kinds of stuff.
And, for all that the story is what it is, it's a pretty simple story. It's literally the story of good versus evil. Good
suppose,
because they're
sure.
good, and evil because they're evil.
Yeah.
That's it. Evil is jealous
But
about
also
good,
the
and they want to destroy good.
potentiality of reaching to the other side and everybody getting along together at the end.
Right.
And
but,
maybe we're not really so different.
but the fact that the Beatles are in this for me is just kind of superfluous to the movie itself. I know that it's kind of
If the music wasn't there,
like
what
I said,
is this movie?
my take on this movie, people are going to disagree with. They just are. I love this movie, but I don't love it because of the Beatles.
mm,
I love it because of all the other stuff going on. Like, I think that one of the hardest things to do for a movie like this, because the animation style is so simple, it really is just shape and color. Like it's very
most things are, Chad.
yeah, it's very simple shapes, very simple designs
No,
that can
yeah.
be animated simply and easily. But
there's a lot of other aspects to it too.
it's coming up with these backgrounds and these like scenarios that they get
creatures
themselves
and- yeah,
into
sure.
and all the scenery that they're flying through, because it's a lot of small, easy to animate things,
Mhm.
but there's a ton of it going on at once,
Yeah,
which is where the complexity of the film comes from.
sure.
And I will say that we have some like special edition Blu-ray collector's edition thing.
Mhm.
I don't remember what anniversary it was for, probably the 50th or something, but this is the way to watch this movie.
Oh yeah.
It is amazing to look at in this format. Everything is so clean. It's so bright.
hmm
And, when I was a kid watching this, it was I recorded it on a VHS. It came on TV.
I was gonna ask because normally we talk about the first experience.
Yeah.
with the
My first
subject.
experience, this was one of the movies that came on, I bet probably a Saturday afternoon or something, and I just happened to record it.
Really?
And
Huh.
yeah, it was just like, it just looks so muddy compared to the
Mhm.
Blu-ray. And it like, if you want to watch this movie, you want to experience it the way you should, go get that Blu-ray, because
I do want to
It's
point
incredible.
out that it was restored, but there's a note in the credits that said that every bit of it was done by hand.
yeah.
Like there's no
There's nothing digital.
Obviously, it's
in
way
it.
before AI was a thing, but it wasn't digitally done. If it was done on it was hand like painstakingly like done. So and I like that note. I
Yes, and
saw
I
it.
am
we were watching it
so
last night.
glad that they didn't go that route where most of these like,
Oh, it'd be so easy to just like filter it up, like
or just
And
do
there
the
you
thing that like the ET anniversary edition did, where they just completely replaced ET with a CGI model.
oh Jesus.
They easily could have put a CGI submarine in this thing and called it a day. You know what I mean? But I'm just so glad they didn't go that route. This
Yeah.
is something that like, it really needs to be preserved in its original form.
And just
Just
cleaned up so
historically,
it looks nice.
This is a historic film.
Well,
and-
it was the first of its kind. Like genuinely.
right,
Like the
yes,
feature
this-
length like album, you think of like obviously it's a different vibe, but like The Wall, Pink
Right.
Floyd's The Wall, like that type of situation where it's like a whole
that came
album
out years later. I think
I know this
71,
one.
I guess.
This is before that. I'm saying
Right,
it's like
yes.
an album's
This
worth of
walked so that
music
The wall
that
could
tells a story. And obviously the vibes are a little different.
Sure,
That's I mean that
absolutely.
too. But it's that kind of thing. This movie for me is intensely nostalgic. I was watching this movie before I could walk, most likely. My mom tells a story that I woke her up. I was having a nightmare when I was 2, and it was that the glove was in my bed and trying to get me. So, like, I don't have a memory of that necessarily, but she has said that. So, I've been watching this movie my entire life.
Right.
And my dad, more than my mom, was a massive Beatles fan.
Mhm.
And so I do have quite a bit of Beatles music, on a playlist, on my likes on Spotify and all of that. I grew up watching Help, which I know you don't like, but I dearly love the shit out of that movie. It's so stupid, and I don't care. I don't care.
No, it's fine. And you can love things you love. There's nothing wrong with
thank
that. Like, I'm not going to say you're
I
wrong or
will.
anything like that. It's just for me, like,
But
watching the Beatles act is just not something I want to sit through.
They're not trying to be good.
It's well,
and it's also
that's a relief.
No, they're just being themselves. They're just being silly.
Sure.
Like, it's whatever.
I get it. Again,
and most of this shit, they're just very on the fringes of being involved with it. I doubt they had much say, because they were so massive. Like,
I'm sure that they were fatigued by the Beatles mania as well.
Absolutely.
Like, it had to be a pain in the ass.
And that's why they started getting away from that type of stuff and into weirder things like Yellow Submarine, Sgt. Pepper, and then on to Abbey Road. And I'm not getting into
when you're just trying to be in a successful band and then, like, overnight you become a phenomenon, that has to be such a pain in the ass.
They
thing
didn't
to
even
go through.
tour for that many years because it was too much.
Yeah, and then, like, what inevitably happened? They broke up because
Anyways,
the
point is, this movie for me is one, and I mentioned this while we were watching it last night. It's interesting to watch it with subtitles because I've watched this movie for so long that a lot of my obviously I know every downbeat, every bit of everything, but I don't always know the words because I was watching this before I really could understand a lot of the words that were being said. They were words I did not know.
Well, there's also, like, accents.
Yeah, but I also I do think I credit this with being why I've never had trouble with British accents, that kind of stuff. I grew up
Monty Python,
between
Mr.
this,
Bean,
sure,
yeah,
Doctor Who, like all of that stuff, So, but yeah, it is interesting with subtitles. I'm like, oh, that's what that says. I've been watching this since before I could walk, but it's like the cadence and the rhythm of the sound versus the content of the word for me in a lot of this. So. Yeah, I'm not going to tell you you're wrong for having your thoughts, but yeah, this was up there with like Dark Crystal and Labyrinth as far as like movies that I watched and rewatched. My dad recorded it on a tape. My mom drew the Yellow Submarine on the little VHS label,
I've
so I knew it was
that
there.
Copy.
Yeah, so. Yeah, I know. I definitely.
No, it's not as if I don't, like, there is a part of me that really does wish that I could appreciate the Beatles like Beatles fans do.
Well, a lot of people.
My Uncle Dale, he's a massive Beatles fan. His entire bedroom was a shrine to the Beatles.
Well, your aunt, I was going to bring up later. I wasn't going to mention her name, but you just said your uncle there. But she made me a little like thing that you like. It's like a little cloth sack that you put potatoes in, so you can make microwave baked potatoes.
Right,
works like a fucking dream. By the way, it's like awesome. Amazing and perfect. I've had it for at least 15 years by this point, but the pattern on it is a pattern that you see in Yellow Submarine.
Yes.
So, so it was our shared like little. She was like, "I thought you'd appreciate this," and I was like, "Oh my god!" So it's that I think of them every time.
Yeah, those are two of my favorite people in the whole world.
They're wonderful.
But yeah, it's not as if.
And yes, their house is amazing.
It's
all
not as
Coca-Cola
if
and
the
Beatles.
Beatles were not like a big part of my childhood, because I would go over to their house all the time, and I was definitely exposed to the Beatles. Like, he had all kinds of shit, memorabilia. He had the movies.
Mm-hmm.
He would put on records, things like that. So yeah, I grew up knowing about the Beatles and listening to the Beatles. It just didn't.
It hits some people and doesn't hit some other people. God knows that they're not nearly as beloved now as they used to be, and there's controversy and all of that. I don't care to get into any of that. I enjoy a lot of it. It is probably more nostalgia, and I do tend to like their later stuff better.
Yeah.
Or things like Help, that album I love because I have a connection to the movie. And then my mom and I quote the movie, and things like that. So
that helps.
It does. It definitely does. But
so what's the setup to this film?
Well, there is this land called Pepperland,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a land of like light and dance and music and happiness and
Gaiety.
Sure, yeah, it's very nice and very naive and open to attack. And the Blue Meanies invade, and Fred tries to warn the mayor, which is a good like a sign of how things are. He's like, the Blue Meanies are coming, and he's like, nah, they wouldn't dare. And he's like, no, but like they are. Like, what should we do? And he's like, I'm gonna finish the quartet. And but yeah, so he basically takes Fred to the Yellow Submarine and says, okay, go find someone to help.
Yep.
And then he gets bonked.
Yes.
He's massively bonked.
He's very, very tall men with stovepipe hats.
Yeah, and apples.
Drop
Big green
apples on your
apples.
head and it turns you into stone.
Well, it kind of, from what I always took it, because you can move when you've been bonked. It more like sucks all of the joy and life out of you. Like, you're not dead, you were just, but you kind of maybe wish you were. You're very sad. It's the opposite.
You basically just
side of
turn
things.
gray and still.
Very depressed. Well, because there is some movement. You'll see like people who've been bonked, like kind of, and then they'll get rebonked.
Now it's weird to me because the Blue Meanies come and they just drain all the color out of the world.
Yes.
Wouldn't it be more interesting if they turned it all blue?
No, because that's a color, and they are blue and everything. But it's more like the concept of blue as depression, which is gray. So that's why it, and then plus it's just a better visual.
Yeah,
because blue itself is not necessarily an unhappy
I will say
color.
that it is cool to see some of the scenes in this movie where all of the backgrounds are just gray tones, and then the characters are all colorful, and it just really pops.
Yeah,
there's something like very satisfying about that to me as an artist.
Well, and like I said, it's very much the setup to Kirby's Epic Yarn.
Yeah, it is. Yes.
So. But yeah, no, Fred goes and he finds, Ringo at first, and Ringo helps collect the other boys, and they go on adventure back to Pepperland, and they go through a bunch of different seas and different things, and they meet the Nowhere Man, your favorite guy, and honestly, probably my favorite guy too. And full name, would you like to say his full name?
Oh, Jeremy Hillary Boob.
Fud. It was a PhD. Huh? Yeah, it's Jeremy Hillary Boob. And then Ringo
PhD,
has the PhD, but he just reads it Fud. Who?
Yeah, I need to find my figure of Jeremy.
Because I had everybody from
we moved
Yellow
here
Submarine.
And I haven't seen him since.
I don't know. I'm sure
that.
He's in a box somewhere.
Jeremy is
amazing.
Yeah, there's something about his design that I think it reminds me of a different cartoon character or something that I must have watched when I was very, very little. It had to be like a Rainbow Bright or a Snork or something stupid like that this character reminds me of.
Snork?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it was, but like something about his character design really triggers this like...
Oh, he's just Jeremy for me. I love his little feet. I love watching him dance.
Yeah,
I love the way
and
he speaks in rhyme. And
he's got a great face.
Yeah. And he says, if I spoke prose, you'd all find out. I don't know what I talk about. So he masks his like.
I mean, it's hard
like
to hate.
Pseudo intellectual guy, right?
It's hard to hate a character like this that like is
pure.
cute enough and pure,
He's
and then
pure.
speaks in rhyme.
Yeah.
It just really is
and
like childhood.
Always happy. But he does know some things. I mean, he fixes the motor. He ultimately convinces the head Blue Meanie.
Yeah.
To come join us.
So he also pops up in what is arguably my favorite part of the entire movie is the Nowhere Man segment. That it's just first of all, it's my favorite Beatles song, probably because of Yellow Submarine.
Mine is Here Comes the Sun.
That's a good one
That's a
too.
George Harrison song.
I mean, look, it's not as if the Beatles don't have hit. Like there are tons of Beatles songs that I do enjoy.
You don't have to.
It's just not something I ever
yourself.
seek out. When I sit down, like when I'm working and I want to put my headphones on.
I have probably 2 to 3 dozen Beatles songs on my likes on Spotify, and I
get that I'm an outlier here. Like most people like the Beatles.
Totally fine. A lot of people don't like the Beatles. There isn't a right answer.
But I will say that I will always like the Beatles more than the Rolling Stones.
Yes, thank you. Also, I have one Rolling Stone song on my likes, and that's Angie.
Yeah, I couldn't even tell you the name of a Rolling Stone song.
Angie.
Okay, the Angie. There you go.
Angie. Angie. Anyways.
But yeah, Jeremy is great. As far as like other characters in this movie, like they're whatever. I think the glove is pretty cool. The blue meanies are okay. I like their design.
I like Max.
Yeah, Max is cool, but this is also one of those movies too where, and you had mentioned that like you told your mom you thought the glove was in your bed, so it may
it scared me.
Trigger some kind of trauma or something. These characters can be traumatic for children.
Yeah, I don't love like the clown alarm thing. He's just like and his head like spins around as he screams at the sky. Jesus,
this definitely came from a much different era of cartoons for kids, where it's unintentionally terrifying.
Well, yeah, I don't think it's necessarily for children. I was just born in the 80s and was shown all manner of things. Honestly, this one is totally fine. I showed it to our kid when she was a little older, probably 5 or 6.
Like the head blue meanie, the way he speaks.
Yeah.
Can be a little triggering.
Well, because he's like way up there, and then he gets like he gets super up close to the screen,
Right. And his voice kind of reminds me of Krang from Ninja Turtles.
Oh, I could see
the way it changes
that.
pitch.
Yeah. He's very. I don't know what the right word is. Effeminate isn't quite right because he's not necessarily effeminate. But at the same time, he like kicks his little feet when he's happy.
Most of the characters in this movie are just kind of effeminate.
Kind of.
Jeremy is definitely effeminate.
Jeremy's his own thing. Yeah. I think he's just pure. He just likes to. He's very busy. You know, he's got a lot to do. And he knows some things. But
and even the blue meanie, like you said, the way that they kind of walk.
Yeah.
And it looks like they're walking like, well, first of all, they're all wearing like thigh-high boots. And they're walking on what appears to be their tippy toes.
Yeah.
So it's like, there's something
they're very caricatures. I mean, even the Beatles themselves, again, not voiced by the Beatles. Although the music is the music from the album.
Yeah, like those are never know. That like they just sound like
I literally didn't know that until I was an adult. And I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And so, I didn't know. But even the characters of the Beatles and Yellow Submarine are meant to intentionally be kind of caricatures of the men themselves, the human, like the actual, John, Paul,
right.
George.
They don't
Ringo.
actually look.
Well, they kind of picked a personality trait.
Right.
That kind of is meant as satire of who they are, right? Like, so John will go on these long... like
philosophical
and they're just
rants.
like, oh my god. And Paul is very obsessed with his looks, and he's just like, oh, we're kind of
Ringo's
cute,
the funny one.
Ringo is very like doldrums, just kind of.
He's also the luckiest drummer in the
world.
Well,
we're not talking about actual, because then we'll go in. I'll have to talk about his MS Paint art, and we don't have time.
Your baby.
Your baby. I like Hatman. But anyways, and then George is very transcendental. There's a lot of sitar music whenever he's playing, and he's like, it's all in the mind. So he's able to like float down and shit like that because he's unlocked. That type of it's that type of thing. So if you know the Beatles, it's better if you already kind of know their personalities. You'll get more of the in jokes because there's a lot of jokes they take at each other.
Yeah. They left Yoko out of this one.
This is Chad. Just remember that she liked your art.
I don't hate Yoko Ono.
That's all I'm going to say. She legitimately, like actual Yoko Ono, liked your fucking art.
She took 5 seconds out of her day.
She liked your art, okay? Say what you want. That's an accomplishment. Like, that's awesome. That's more connection than I have.
Yeah.
So.
If I ever make a book of my art, I could just use her quote and put it on the cover.
Oh, absolutely. Don't need to ask her.
I don't need permission. What is that for?
Anyways, so yeah, they get to Pepperland and, help bring. There's also their counterparts of Pepperland, the Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, who were trapped in this bubble. And so they help get them out. And then the two of them join forces and, defeat the Blue Meanies and all of their army, but ultimately it does come down to Jeremy talking to the head Blue Meanie and, convincing them you can just come we can all get there's plenty of room. We can all just hang out. It's okay. You don't need to be this.
You don't have to be a jealous bitch.
You can just be happy and be who you are, and it's totally fine. And he ends up covered in roses. And, his whole thing throughout this has been you never say yes, you always say no. So even if something is done, he screams like a banshee at Max for one early in the movie when he's like, is all this ready? And Max is like, yes. And he's like, nah. Yes. And he's like, no, your blueness, and he's like, that's better. So then at the very end, Max is like, no. And the Blue Meanie's like, wah. And it's yes. So, they did everything. And then, there's a song and Jeremy dances up a big flower thing. And then the actual Beatles come in at the very end.
Yeah.
And sing all together now.
I've got a hole in me pocket.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's half a hole.
Half a hole anyway. He gave the rest to Jeremy. I really could quote this entire movie. Please don't.
It is kind of very
2,
quotable.
3.
There's a lot of quotable shit in this movie.
Anyways, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, if you like the Beatles, I don't know how you've avoided this.
Yeah.
I do think that this is one of those must-watch movies. It just is kind of it really is one of those cultural touchstones of a generation, if you will. Where it just did kind of bridge, the British and the American. This is something that, to me, the Beatles are just as American as they are British. You know what I mean? For all that they are a British band and they are from Liverpool and all that.
Very much so.
They've been in my life, my entire life. They've always been there. I don't know. It's just, to me, I grew up in America. So it's just it's just as much a part of culture here as it is there.
Oh, sure.
I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Sure.
Kind of like Doctor Who versus Star Trek, right?
Okay.
British people love Star Trek just as much as we love Doctor Who.
Do they?
So yeah. Yeah, Star Trek is huge over there.
Oh.
Mainly because of Patrick
Which Star
Stewart.
Trek? Oh, Next Generation.
Yeah.
Well, he is a god among men who has looked basically the same my entire life.
I literally said today, we need more Patrick Stewarts.
You did. And I agree.
Yeah.
I do.
Because I was talking about when he was giving James Corden the business.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just like, yeah.
We were watching a YouTube video about the death of Late Night. And yeah. I just love his ongoing bromance with Ian McKellen. Yeah. And they're matching Halloween costumes.
Well, and
everything.
Anyways, we're not here to talk about Patrick Stewart. That's a different episode. That probably will happen.
But no, this is a very important movie because this is one of the earlier examples of an animated film not being strictly aimed at children. Mm-hmm. Because, before then you had Disney and stuff like that. But this was more adult in its humor. And I don't mean there's nudity and stuff like that or cussing because no. But
they just don't dumb it down.
Humor, the humor is very British. It's very quick and
very quippy, very dry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, the Beatles, while teenage girls liked them, by this point, they weren't, obviously they were insanely famous and all of that, but the heart, the Love Me Do, set, the Ed Sullivan black and white, they had moved beyond that into this more experimental stuff. So it's very hippy dippy. It's very, it probably would have been better on some kind of altering substance. I don't do that.
Definitely.
So I never needed it. I had the eyes of a child. That was all the whimsy I needed.
You could definitely, partake in the jazz cabbage.
I would not. Thank you. It's not for
Have
me.
yourself a grand old time
No, thank you.
watching this film. But like I said, it's just one of those movies that, like, for some reason in my mind, it kind of has this Americana feel to it.
That's so strange.
It is
to
very
me.
strange.
I don't. Why?
I get that people are going to disagree with me, but
Who
it's just my
cares?
personal
This
experience.
is yours.
Through it.
Quit.
Simply
Why?
because
What makes you feel that way?
because
Anything in particular?
I think it has a lot to do with the fact that when I was just a stupid little kid, I had no idea, like, British anything. You know what I mean? Like, I just didn't realize it was British. It was just here. It was on my TV in America, so it's here.
Oh.
Like, it just has an Americana feel to it to me.
I think it's just
Mainly
maybe a
because it just-
nostalgia for
Everything in it just looks like
childhood
a kooky roadside attraction that you would find in America anyway.
thing. Oh, sure.
But
Well, it could also be that your uncle had so much stuff
Yes,
that
yeah,
you connect
exactly.
that, and
That's
his
what I'm
other
saying.
thing he
I was just
collects
surrounded
is
with it here.
Coca-Cola, which is arguably very high on the Americana list.
and-
so
you could argue too, like back in the 80s and early 90s, like we weren't really inundated with much outside of our own culture here in America.
sure.
Certainly not to the extent that we are now with, like, now you can just
Like anime and stuff.
yeah, you can subscribe to Crunchyroll and watch all the anime.
Well,
you
I
want.
watch, people on YouTube from all over.
Yeah,
the
BBC
world.
has their own streaming shit and all that. Like, there's all
Sure.
kinds of stuff that you can get these days that you just couldn't back then. So
Sure.
it didn't even cross my mind as a kid that this was, like, foreign.
Oh, well, yeah, I definitely knew.
I thought it was a little strange the way they talked and all that, because I wasn't like
But I also watched, on PBS, all the
Yeah,
British
it-
stuff, and
PBS is where I
again, Monty
understood.
Python, all of that.
By the time I started
Oh.
watching all the PBS Britcoms and stuff like
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
like, that's when I really understood
Hmm.
all this shit that, the British invasion that
I guess I also had Labyrinth, who had his David Bowie in it, and he has a British,
exactly.
so like
but
a
when
lot
I was
of
a
my
kid, I had
stuff
no idea
had-
David Bowie was British.
Oh,
I just knew he was David Bowie.
I don't think I really thought about it. Just some people talk like that.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, I mean, the Beatles were just like, part of this wave of British invasion.
they
that-
started it, yeah.
Yes. And it, there were pockets of it here and there, at least in America, because, in the 80s for, our generation, it would have been comic books with the likes of Jamie Hewitt, Alan Moore.
Yeah, we are firmly
Grant
in
Morrison, I
your
believe, is one of them. And
purview.
Things like Tank Girl.
Okay, I've seen that
Yeah.
movie.
Tank Girl was like one of my favorite comics growing up. And
Mm.
again, that's, I was aware at that point that, like, British
England was
things
a
were
country.
British things. Like, not everything is America, okay? Not everything is important. Like,
That's a very, very privileged view. For you
yeah,
to
America is
say,
not the
so.
center of the universe. But it's you just don't think about it growing up as a kid. You
Oh,
just
sure.
it's just part of your day.
It's just something you enjoy. You don't really think about where it came from.
Right. So even to this day, like watching Yellow Submarine last night, like the fact that it's British isn't even on my radar.
Mm.
It's just
it just
part
is.
of it's just part of the zeitgeist
Hmm.
as far as I'm concerned.
Alrighty. What's your favorite bit? I mean, aside from Nowhere Man, because you like that whole bit. Because there's so many. We haven't really talked that much about the different kinds of animation in this, because there are a lot of different kinds. They also do
Yeah.
the rotoscoping thing for parts of it
Yes,
in little
there's
repeated
different
sections
types of
and stuff like
animation
that, like
going on.
Eleanor Rigby and stuff.
Rotoscoping is one of them. They're doing a lot of screen print art,
Like what?
screen printing.
Yeah. No, I'm asking like what part of the movie. I ask because I don't know how to recognize
Most of
all
the stuff
these
in this
different
in this
techniques.
movie, they're using, like, as far as the backgrounds go, and they even went as far as to animate some of this shit too, which was zany as hell. But
Zany. Zoom,
Yeah.
wow.
but it looks really cool.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's basically what screen print is, right?
Like a t-shirt?
Like for a t-shirt, yes.
Uh-huh.
Andy Warhol was the one doing all this at that time.
Right. Not for
And-
this movie.
No.
I do need to say
I'm just
that.
saying his art was very big at this
Right,
point
right,
in history, so of course they
Well, they
incorporated.
call this a mod odyssey. Which
Modesty.
it is. Well, yeah. They say a mod odyssey, but yes, it should be modesty.
I agree.
Not modesty.
They're
Modesty.
also doing a lot of Xeroxing. So most of the stuff in here that looks like it's been Xeroxed is a combination of
has.
Xerox and screen printing.
So all the black and white, like the more realistic buildings,
Right.
like in Eleanor
Yes,
Rigby and
yes,
stuff
those
like
would
that.
be screen printed
Okay.
backgrounds that they're animating.
And probably like never mind. I'm thinking of like the pilot in Eleanor Rigby who's close to the screen, and he has a tear fall. Maybe some of the people in
Yes, most of the close-up faces, those
Mhm.
things, because there's a lot of like they do this thing where they use a lot of like just heads that are sticking up out of the ground.
Sure. Yeah.
And they're just part of the architecture.
It's the foothills of the headlands, all right?
Right. But also when they're at the beginning of the movie, when what's his name? The guy who's sent to go get the Beatles.
Fred.
Young
Either old or
Fred.
young, depending on who's talking. He's young Fred if the mayor's talking. He's old Fred if the Beatles are talking.
Right. But yeah, whenever Fred's going to get the Beatles, he's flying the submarine through Liverpool.
Yeah.
And he's just flying it through different heads and different, like, some of them are celebrities of the time,
sure,
like
sure.
a Marilyn Monroe would be in there. Other things like old comics, like the Phantom, his head is in there. And there's
Is that
a lot
the purple
of
guy?
Yes.
Okay.
There's a lot of pop culture references in these backgrounds too. And probably because of the reference to Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, like the album cover itself had all these celebrities and stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm sure that's where they get this idea from of
Interesting.
collaging a bunch of things, because they are a major part of this film as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then apparently they come from Pepperland.
They do.
So but they do.
They do.
You are correct. But yeah, just going through all these backgrounds and the different animation styles, because during the Eleanor Rigby segment, that's rotoscoped.
Right, you could tell.
The
but
dancing
and then they're
and things
like
like that.
on repeat.
But it's
They play
like-
it back and forth and back and forth.
It's purposefully like it's dumbed down to a point where it's just like line work and color.
right.
And the color
And
is like
repetitive.
yes, it's like the same 2 or 3 seconds just played.
Back and forth.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's purposefully like the colors are going outside the lines.
Mm-hmm.
But again, this is because it's one of those movies where if you were to smoke a little jazz cabbage or take a little LSD or something,
What in the world? No.
it would look really, really fun if you were on drugs.
I do not.
But I don't think it's because they want you to do drugs. I just think this
See, I
animation
always took
from
it
this
to
time
be
period.
Like, this is like maybe the people who made it were on like that type of thing. So they made the world as they see it type
that's
thing.
kinda
So
what
you
I'm-
don't need to then go do them yourself because you're seeing what they intended you to see anyways.
I don't think the animation was done like this intentionally so that you would be like persuaded to do drugs.
No,
I just
that's
think
not
that
what I'm saying.
I think this style of animation from that time period just lends itself well to being experienced on drugs, just because of the type of art style it is. And the wacky, zany, surreal nature of it. Freeze frame and pause this movie at any point, and you can frame it.
Yeah. Yes.
A
lot of it is really beautiful.
Every single
in its own very weird, different way.
Every single frame of this movie is just a piece of art.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's really cool. I have a lot of favorite moments, but like I if I tried to describe it, it would sound silly. It's just little things I've been looking at all my life that I like looking at.
Really interesting about this too is because it takes that approach that a lot of like kid shows would take, where it's like it's the Beatles. Everybody knew who the Beatles were at that point in time.
Right.
And if you look at like the Beatles as people, they clearly did not all live in a house together where they each had their own individual
I don't know.
room.
Have you seen Help? Have you seen Help? John's
movie-
bed was in the floor, and that was awesome.
They do this with Beatles movies, and this is one of the things that
I
really
love it. I
bothers
think
me.
it's so
It doesn't
funny.
bother me so much in Yellow Submarine because it's already surreal anyway.
Well, you don't ever see where they live in Yellow Submarine. They just all happened to be in this like museum-y thing.
That's not their house.
No, I don't think so.
Then why do they all have their own individual like rooms that are catered specifically
They
to
just
them?
happened to be there. I didn't maybe that was their house. I never thought
I just
about
assumed
it like
because
that.
because like in Help, they're also all living together.
Yeah, I know, but there they have their own doors that they go in, and then they have their own little own segments. Dude, it's just funny. Fuck you. I don't
But
care.
it really is just like a kid show way of looking at
I
things.
think it is a kind of spoof, an intentional kind of making fun of people who are super obsessed with them, who maybe fantasize that this is how they lived their lives when obviously they didn't. But it's just kind of a funny little thing.
No, they all lived in massive mansions with swimming pools and movie stars.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just saying that's one of the things that bothers me about Beatles.
That's what I think. That's why I think it's funny, because it's a very intentional poke at people who think that that's how it is.
Yeah,
No.
They pose this idea that the Beatles are just living like Bert and Ernie.
Yeah.
Anyways, I just wanted to throw that out there because it's very odd. But again, in Yellow Submarine, it kind of works because it is just zany and.
I think maybe you're right. Maybe that is their house, because when Fred goes and Ringo like locks the door but he goes, help, and one of my favorite lines in the movie is Ringo replies, thanks, I don't need any.
Yeah,
oh my God.
As far as the Beatles themselves go, I do think that Ringo definitely has the better one-liners.
He's got a lot of good ones in there.
And for all that,
he doesn't help too.
Ringo is by far my least favorite Beatle.
No.
I think he's my most favorite Beatle in this movie, which is very odd how they.
Well, he's the focus of Help. He's the one who got the ring sent to him that causes all the bullshit.
I think Ringo Starr, and this is not anything to do with him as a person, because I'm sure he's very nice. I've never met the man.
You're going to have Marge Simpson on your ass here in a second.
I know he went out of his way to respond to every single person that ever wrote him. And I respect that. That's a big thing to do.
He did finally put a stop to that.
Yeah, well, he had to. He's been doing it for 60 years.
I know. I wish I'd known. I'd have said something.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, I do think that when it comes to being a drummer, he's just kind of okay-ish.
You say this because you are a drummer.
Sort of.
Well, I'm just saying, you're not just saying that as someone who listens to music. You say that as someone who has technical drumming skill.
Well, the thing with Ringo and the way that he plays drums is that that
I do not have. For the listeners, you know how to play the drums.
I could literally sit down.
I have seen you.
Listen to one Beatles song one time, and I can play the drum beats from that song.
Yeah.
Just by listening to it one time.
Okay. I mean, it was never drum heavy. He was there to keep the beat.
I mean, look, this isn't math rock. You know what I mean?
He was there to keep the beat.
It's not progressive metal.
No.
This isn't.
No, it's not.
Anyways,
it's more focused on harmony than and stuff like that.
Yes, these are very, very simple, sing-songy, easy to comprehend,
stuff, yes.
easy to sing along to songs.
The earlier stuff, yes.
And I think that I think that when it came to the Beatles themselves, I appreciated them much more separately than together. Because there's far more Paul McCartney songs I like than Beatles songs. There's far more George Harrison songs that I like than Beatles. There's far more John Lennon songs that I like. Ringo.
And then there's Ringo. He has an all-star band.
Yeah, he does.
Who's your favorite Beatle then? Overall.
I think that...
And why?
I think John and George are pretty much, as far as I'm concerned, equal to me.
Why?
I just think that they had better ideas.
Even though
I think
Lennon McCartney is like one of the greatest songwriting duos of all time.
Most
Beatles songs were John and
Paul.
I
understand. I know all that.
Okay.
I'm just saying that when you take them out,
I'm not talking about the people. I'm talking about in the Beatles.
It's in the Beatles. I mean, I don't know. I guess
George is my favorite.
I've never really thought about it, honestly.
George is my favorite. No, you can't have George.
But no, just outside of the Beatles bubble, I think I've always appreciated George and John's songs far more. And Paul McCartney's got some good hits.
He has some good ones.
As far as Ringo's band goes, I don't really care. I'm just not. I'm not a Ringo fan.
I will say I'm not overly familiar with a lot of his solo work.
Yeah,
I don't really know. That's not something. Again, a lot of my exposure early on was through my dad, and he definitely played a lot of John Lennon. He played some George Harrison. He played some Wings and stuff like that. He didn't really play. I know he went to see Ringo and the All-Star Band, when they came through. But, he didn't really play that around me, so I didn't really ever seek that out. So I can't speak to to that. Ringo seems like a very genuinely sweet man.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So
I'm sure he's a phenomenal dude, and I don't want to talk shit about him.
I'll just leave it at that. If his MS Paint art prints of it weren't so expensive, I would buy one because they're funny.
I can recreate
Hatman
that
is
for
amazing.
You. I can recreate that before this podcast.
I don't care. It wouldn't be the same. I would know.
Yeah, you would.
I would know. Come on.
Yeah, for those of you unaware, Ringo Starr had
just look up Ringo Starr MS Paint art. It's amazing. But at the same time, he did this because like he was in, as he was in hotels late at night, he was just fucking around on a computer with rudimentary.
Look, none of this is his fault.
No,
he was making doodles in Microsoft Paint, and somebody decided they were worth money. He didn't.
Right?
He didn't need
he doesn't
money.
care. He was just entertaining only himself, and this is a very Ringo thing. Like he just was doing something quiet for himself, and somebody found it and was like, "Oh my god, this art is terrible."
Thing is, if it's a picture of a man and he's wearing a hat, it's probably Hatman.
Because on computer you have to call them something. So I have. No, dude, I have a lot of fondness in my heart for Ringo as a person. He seems, like I said, a very genuinely sweet man who is very, you say lucky, but he is very aware of that and grateful to everything that his life has been.
Sure.
So it's not like he's a dick about it, going like, "Oh, I'm the greatest drummer that ever was."
Nobody that responds to every single fan letter is unaware that they are.
He's just kind of a precious baby in my mind.
Right.
Like,
there's no such thing as a person that does that is a narcissist or full of themselves or anything like that. I'm sure.
And Octopus's Garden is a perfectly fine song.
And if I ever met him, it'd be a cool moment.
Abso-fucking-lutely it would.
It's one of those things.
But
I don't have to care for him as a musician.
He doesn't have to.
I care for him more as a person.
Right, exactly. So, yeah. Anyway.
And that's just kind of how I feel about the Beatles in general.
But, I really
like them better as
George.
people, and I liked them better as solo artists than a band. And I
like some of the stuff.
I do think that their songs are important. They do have a good message.
I'm glad they were able to break out and
at least those earlier songs, because as they kind of went on, their lyrics became like intentionally vague and weird.
Well, they were on drugs,
so
rather famous.
But those earlier songs, I mean, really, there was just this heartbeat of love going through it, and it really did reach a lot of people. And there's no way that you could be bad and have that outcome. I get that this is a important band, an important moment in history. In America and in the UK and all over the world, really, because I mean, these are international
100%
superstars. But like, I just think that I understand the world is a little better with the Beatles in it.
We only got 2 of them.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the case, isn't it?
Yeah,
eventually we'll have none.
I know.
And we'll have something like Yellow Submarine to look back on and watch and remember. And
I was trying to remember what the hell it was that Paul McCartney like cameoed in.
The Simpsons?
No. Well, yes. But I mean, his actual self. Damn, I can't remember. It's only a couple of years ago. What the hell was it?
Oh, it was...
Because we saw it.
Yeah.
He just showed up.
It was the new Spinal Tap movie.
That's exactly what it is.
Yes.
The beginning of the end or whatever it was called.
The end continues.
I don't remember. I enjoyed that. Yeah, it's the second Spinal Tap movie.
The Spinal Tap sequel is very good.
I need to point out that normally sequels that have like 30 something years in between don't work. This absolutely fucking does. So if you haven't seen the second Spinal Tap movie, it's so good. Yes. Paul McCartney shows up. That's exactly right. Thank you.
Does.
Because part of what makes Spinal Tap so good is they get all of these actually big name people. And it's hard. Say what you want, not you, but just in general. It's harder to find a bigger music star legend that's still living than Paul McCartney. Right. So to have someone like him come in and he's like riffing and he's the fanboy. Like he's like, oh my God, and he's like, he plays like part of one of their songs and it's just amazing. So
no, they definitely had.
I'm so glad you remembered that. It's so good.
their comedy is spot on.
Oh my God.
Perfect.
Well,
And-
I love Christopher Guest and Michael McKean and Harry Shearer. Like, anyways.
Well, and it came at
You
the
know.
perfect time too, considering what happened to Rob
Yeah,
Reiner.
Yes.
So
R.I.P. again. Yes. Damn.
yeah, it all goes back to me. You know, I do have a very firm belief that the world's a better place having the Beatles in it
Mm-hmm.
and having had them in it. You know, for all the
Even
or
if they
worse.
were more of a launch pad for different things that
And-
you enjoy more.
right. And while it's not necessarily something that I seek out or listen to on a daily basis, I'm not a super fan or anything like that. I do acknowledge their presence and how important it is. And I do think that Yellow Submarine is one of those things that for somebody like me, it's that one thing that I can always go back to appreciate the Beatles. Because I'm probably not going to go listen to albums. I'm probably not going to go watch Help because
It's so funny.
now we do have that.
Come
I
on.
bought you that 8 Days a Week documentary
Yeah.
Blu-ray set
Yeah,
thing, so
sure.
we should probably watch that at some point.
I have.
I'm more interested in the history of the Beatles and like what was going on behind the scenes than
Mm.
them performing or anything like
Well,
that.
I will say, I mean, I think a lot of the reason I love Help so much, like to this day, like I killed it for my mom for a good 25 years or something. Like I watched that movie so much as a kid that it was one of those, she was
Help?
like, yes,
How?
because I loved it dearly.
Oh my God. Is
I-
that what's wrong with you?
It's one of many things. But no, it's to the point where she couldn't even watch it for a long time. She's like, please God, not again. So yeah, I didn't really watch Hard Day's Night as much. So I don't have that intense connection as I do to Yellow Submarine and Help. But
Yeah, Yellow Submarine is definitely always going to be my.
well, you're also an
go-to Beatles.
artist. So you're drawn
There's
to
just
that
so much
type of
more to
stuff.
appreciate about it than the Beatles.
Yeah, but I like the Beatles.
The Beatles are, well, it's crazy to me how
I
you can
do.
have a movie like this where arguably the Beatles are the biggest part of this film and yet it's the least interesting thing about it.
Well, I'd argue against that. I mean, I understand what from your perspective, but for me, a lot of the enjoyment, while the visuals are awesome and I love them, it's the little byplay between them that is present in things like Help. They're so silly to each other
Right.
on camera. So, you know, I see a lot of that mirrored. And it was clearly intentional from the people who actually like wrote the story, created the art, that they were very invested in doing this right while also making it kind of a parody of the Beatles, which everything the Beatles do, all the Beatles movies are parodies of what their life was anyways.
Sure.
You know, so it's that kind of thing. This is just the version where they get whisked off to another dimension to save the world.
Right.
You know,
And it's enjoyable. It's
Yeah.
phenomenal. It really is just
so
like,
creative.
in the pantheon of animated films. I mean, this one's up there for sure.
Yeah.
And it has made a shitload of money over the decades. Let
Has
me tell
it?
you. Oh yeah, merchandising for this.
Oh, yeah,
This
probably.
is like the movie that Beatles merchandise comes from. Like when people think of it, when people want to go get Beatles merchandise, they probably think about
I
getting
think they
a
think of, like,
replica of the Submarine, or even
I
back
think they
when,
think of like album covers and stuff like that.
well, maybe, but like even back in the day, like back in 1999, I worked at a Spencer Gifts,
Ugh.
and that's when what is it called? McFarlane Toys
Oh, sure.
put out
Mhm.
the Beatles action figures. I swear to God that for like 3 months straight, our entire store was Beatles Yellow Submarine shit.
Yeah, I remember
There were
those
lava
days.
lamps. There were
It was
posters. There were-
awesome.
yeah, they were everywhere. We had like the bust of their heads, like the cartoon head busts.
See, I don't need that. I do have all the figures, like the tall figures, and then Jeremy. I don't have the Yellow Submarine. I don't have the Blue Meanie. And then I had little cars. Where the hell did those cars come from? They're like little, like they look like Matchbox cars or something,
Oh.
but each Beatle had a car
I don't remember where we got
and
those.
stuff like that. I don't remember where those came from.
Yeah, I don't either.
Whatever.
Anyways. But yeah, it was the Yellow Submarine was a big deal when I worked at
Yeah.
Spencer's back in the day, and I mean it's arguably probably the easiest Beatles movie to make merchandise for
Oh,
because
sure.
it is so interesting and striking and colorful and fun,
Yeah, absolutely.
and you know.
No,
It is
I
what it
wasn't
is.
trying to imply that Help was the big merch opportunity because no, but
Aside from, I think, that's a Criterion release, isn't it?
is it? I
Yes,
don't
Help
know.
is a Criterion release.
I just
We
know
have it.
I own it. I don't know.
So I mean,
what
it
version.
must have some kind of historical significance. I just don't get it. I don't. I think Yellow Submarine for me, that's like the pinnacle of Beatles anything, and it's something that I do enjoy watching, and I do watch it, every couple of years,
Yeah, sure.
and I highly recommend all of you do the same.
Yeah. I don't know if it's streaming anywhere because we just own, I think it's the 40th anniversary Blu-ray, something
40th,
like that.
something like that.
It could be 50th. I don't know.
As far as I know, it's the only Blu-ray that exists.
Mm.
I think that was the first time they released it on Blu-ray, which is
But
why
it's
it was
got
a
like
big
a
deal,
little documentary behind the scenes. It does. I do want to briefly say, like, the version I had on VHS when I was a wee one did not have Hey Bulldog. And then there's also a couple of like, there were just little moments that were edited out for whatever reason.
Right.
That because my brain is like it is, and I remember every second of every little thing, I know that moment there wasn't there. This little thing, this was slightly different.
Right.
That entire segment was gone. And
Well, this is the
I
director's
think
cut.
they added it back in for the Blu-ray.
Probably.
So, but yeah, no, Hey Bulldog and all that absolutely was not in the VHS version. Then
But no, there's a lot of bonus features on there. There's commentary tracks. It comes with like these.
it's like stickers and
There's stickers and like little like replicas of animation cells of each one of the Beatles.
yeah,
So,
it's neat.
yeah, it's fun.
It's fun and fun.
Highly recommend you all watch it.
Yeah, you should.
All right, well, I guess we can call that an episode. Jess, where can people find you?
Who's Jess? I thought I was Henrietta.
Henrietta, where can people find you?
Well, funnily enough, you can find me at _Jess Moon on Instagram. You can find me at JHL Moon on Twitter. I do have a publishing house. It is called Shadow Spark Publishing. You can find us at Shadow Spark Pub on all the different social media platforms, as well as shadowsparkpub.com. And yeah, check out all of our offerings. We're pretty fucking awesome.
Right on.
Chad, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Deadbeat Chad. You can follow the podcast on Instagram as well at The Pretty Little Podcast. We have the YouTube channel where you can listen to all of our episodes there if you prefer. That is youtube.com/at The Pretty Little Podcast 69420. Thank you to everybody who listens, downloads. I'm trying to get in more of a habit of doing this at the end of the show because we really do appreciate it. For all that
we're seeing growth.
Right, we are. And for all that we're doing, the podcast, just pure transparency here, the podcast is for me and Jess.
Yeah,
we do
even
this
though
for
I
us.
wasn't initially on the podcast.
We will do this as long as we want to, and then we will call it quits and we will shut it off. Hopefully
but
soon.
To be fair, he has already planned out most of next season, and we're not even done with this season. So don't think like we're going anywhere. Definitely not.
But
this is a fun thing for us to do.
It is always nice to see that we're doing something that we enjoy for each other, and you guys are enjoying it too. And that really does mean a lot to us.
We're getting some comments on the YouTube videos.
And it's
likes.
really nice to see it grow and turn into what it is, and I can't wait to see what it does in the future.
Strange numbers of people watching the Cool World episode.
Yeah, our Cool World episode blew up
Boys.
overnight for some reason. I don't know what the hell happened there, but
okay, thanks, guys.
There was some kind of new interest in Cool World all of a sudden. But yeah, thank you all for downloading, liking, subscribing. So until we see you next time, get the fuck out of our house.
No more staying pretty.
Stay pretty.
Oh, okay, there we go.